Hello, welcome to lecture 30, 30 of game theory course. This is the last lecture of week 10. Okay, we have initiated the discussion on principal agent problem in the previous lecture, and we are gonna continue it this time. And before we actually solve mathematically the principal agent problem, I'm going to spend considerable amount of time on understanding and explaining the principal agent problem. As I have mentioned, maybe you remember or not, the solving mathematically the game theory and predicting the future, which means finding out the equilibrium, may seem difficult at first. But those technical things, the young and smart Yonsei University student, they can do it very quickly. On the other hand, what is, in my opinion, more difficult and more important is finding out that exact cases in the real life. Because even though you mathematically calculate something very correct, if your assumption is wrong, or your assumption is far from the realistic cases, it's useless. So, we are not pursuing the mathematical beauty of game theory, but we want something that can predict the future and that is useful in everyday life. That's why, for the same reason, I'm going to spend considerable amount of time in understanding the principal agent problem itself. Okay, I have talked about that there are two kinds of principal agent problem. One is the moral hazard, the other is adverse selection. In order to understand the difference between moral hazard and adverse selection, we have to understand the big question, nature or nurture. Nature means you are born with it, or nurture means you are educated. So let's assume that somebody like Korean guy Minsu has a great ability. He's really quick in understanding and doing great, and he is promoted very quickly, etc., etc. Why Minsu means so able? Why Minsu is so smart and able to do so many things? Number one answer, Minsu was born smart. Minsu was born with more ability than the other. Probably. I mean, look at my advisor, teacher, Professor Eric Maskin. Wow. He's smart and he's healthy. And I don't think I will ever be like him. He's like genius. He is not like genius. He is a genius. Something like that. So some people, it's hard to deny that some people are born different. If the famous Korean, most famous Korean soccer player, football player Son Heung-min, if Professor Han try his butt off, he would be able to be like Son Heung-min? Probably not. I mean, Son Heung-min was born with some talent and we are not. So the nature means people are born different and starting from that. Yeah, but if you have the same ability, Minsu and Cheolsu, the Korean men, they have same ability, then they would become the same people. They would promote at the same time and similar career path and things like that. Not really, because what you were with at the point of born, like pre-birth nature, is important. But if you do not try, you cannot achieve anything. So nurture means education, raising things. So one should try. So I think probably it's the fact. Maybe some people argue like people's ability came from the DNA. Like nothing can change after that. Some people say that. Some people say that, oh, not much difference when you are born. It's ignorable. So if you try very hard for 10, 20 years, you'll achieve something. But if you don't try, it's nothing. I think probably there are something correct in both argument. And that would be modelized in our principal agent problem. Number one is type. We are going to talk about the Tom's type, Sarah's type, Jane's type, Bill's type. It's something they are born with it. You know, Tom might be smart, Bill might be healthy, something like that. There's another thing is action. Sarah, that is something people, the players and people can select. Sarah is careful, Jane is kind, and Bill is trying very hard, something like that. I mean, you know, I can be careful sometimes. I was extremely careful when I was in the army because I was dealing with the rifles and guns and things like that. I don't want to make any mistake. But then weekends, you know, like staying home, I make so many mistakes because I don't think I have to be that careful, okay? When I make this PPT, I try to be careful, but as you know, I made many mistakes. You know, like, if I was not careful, I'm not careful with the guns, with loaded guns, wow, that's be fatal. But making some mistakes in the PPT in my class, yeah, I mean, that's not good, but not as fatal as like making mistake with loaded guns and things like that. So, you know, I can be extremely careful, I be less careful, I can be totally careless and things like that. And when I go to vacation, I are like much less careful than usual kind of thing. So kindness, you know, I'm talking to the president, my boss, and the dean. I'm very kind, you know, like at home. I'm also kind because my wife, I'm respecting my wife, scared of her. So I'm very kind, but talking to my TA, I might not be as careful and kind as I'm to other people. So it's something I can select. I can be more careful, I can be more kind, I can be working harder on something, but not so much on another thing. So type is something you cannot control, action is something you can control. I mean, in Korean society language, we like divide, you have a boss. There are 4 kinds of boss. That depends on smart and stupid and lazy and diligent. And people say the best boss would be smart and lazy. Smart means 똑똑하다. So lazy means 게으르다. So 똑게, somebody said. And the second best is smart and diligent. I mean, you know, like you want your boss to be smart, but if he's so diligent, he makes you work so hard. So smart lazy would be better than smart diligent. That is 똑똑하고 부지런하다, 똑부. You know, you must have heard about it if you are Korean. If you're not, like that's Korean word. The third best is stupid and lazy. And the worst is stupid and diligent. He makes so many things, but nothing works out, kind of thing. Here, smart and stupid are types. Smart type, stupid type. And lazy and diligent are actions. Because, you know, if you are born stupid, you cannot be smart. But if there's nothing like you're born lazy or something. You can make up your mind and, oh, I should work hard, and you can be diligent. It's something you can choose. That's action. Okay? So, why am I talking about this? Because it is related to what I have talked about, the moral hazard and adverse selection. Moral hazard is related to the action. Agent can do it, but the agent does not. Okay? Agent can work hard. you are working for a convenience store, 7-Eleven, as a, in Korea we say alba, part-timer, and the convenience store owner said, please work hard. Miss Kim, you should work hard. But then you don't. Okay? Then you lie to the owner that, oh, I worked so hard. But that was lie. Okay? So moral hazard is something the agent can do it but didn't do it and lie that he actually did it, kind of thing. For example, the free riding, you and your members in the office, you got a job, there are 5 people there, all of them should work hard, but then you work a little bit less, much less, but then nobody can really notice, and that is free riding. But still you can get paid because 4 people working hard, and your salary would be from the profit of the whole office. So that is free riding. You are not working hard, but you are getting paid. That is moral hazard. Okay, the other thing is insurance in moral hazard. You got like automobile insurance. You are supposed to be very careful, but you are not. But still, when you got accident, you got paid, something like that. So moral hazard is something that you can do it, but you are not. But then you lie to the principle that you tried something. Adverse selection is something that agent cannot do. It's born with it. So how can agent trick about that? The problem is, let's assume that you are not good at computers, but you went for a job interview at like LG, Korean electric company, LG Electrics, and they say, are you good at computers? And you said, yes, I'm very good at it. The computer is something that not type, but are you healthy? For example, they ask, and you know that you have some disease and you are, after like 5 hours work, you got dizziness and things like that, but you said, no, I'm very healthy, something like that. So people pretend to be something that they are not. That's the problem. Like, I haven't seen anybody who in the interview say like, are you healthy? Are you smart? And all of them said, I'm smart and I'm healthy and things like that. So people want to achieve something, and one way to do it is they pretend to be something better than they actually are. So they are lying. That is adverse selection. The meaning adverse selection is that the companies want to hire a smart person, but even the stupid ones say, I'm smart. So even though they want a smart person, they may end up with a stupid one. That is adverse selection. Moral hazard is, why is it moral and immoral? The agent can do it, but he's not doing it. So it's morally wrong. That's why we call it moral hazard. The question, I'm extremely kind of careful not to lead you to the assumption or conclusion that the agent is bad and principle is good. But why don't you ask yourself, is the agent really bad? As I have told you, the fact that agent does not try, but the part-timer at the convenience store, Tom, does not try, but he tell the owner that I tried very hard. How does that work? Because the convenience store owner, Bill, cannot see whether Tom worked hard last night or not. But that can work the other direction. Tom worked very hard. But then the next morning, the owner, convenience store owner, Bill, came in and like, come on, like, how come our profit is so low last night? Tom said, I don't know, I worked so hard, but people didn't come. And Bill said, come on, I don't trust you. You didn't work hard. Something like that. So, like the agent point of view, like blaming me not working hard and telling the owner like I worked hard. But then, what if I worked hard and the result is not good? The